Hello everyone, it's Jamie and welcome back to my channel and welcome to my first update video for 2023. It's been a little while since my last video and so there are quite a few projects to show. They don't all have a ton of progress, which is partly because I am in a stitching group this year. I joined a group, it's called I think Fandom Stitching Central on Facebook, and every year they have a different theme. This year's theme is Lord of the Rings, so I was like, I am in for that. Love a good Lord of the Rings group. And so the way it works is they have weekly challenges, monthly challenges, and yearly challenges. And the weekly challenges, you can either do 500 stitches or you can do 200 stitches, and I have been picking the 200 stitches. So some of the projects only have like 200 or 400 stitches if I was using it for a weekly challenge. So yeah, there's some of them don't have a ton, but there is quite a few to show. So what will I start with? I need to just pick something. I will start with this one. So the first chart I will show, and I will also note that all my charts I will be showing the picture of what it looked like before I started working on it, plus I will be showing a picture of the artwork so you will see what it will look like when it's finished whenever I actually get things finished. So the first chart is Lord of the Rings by Glitch Stitch AU, and it was my New Year's start. I started it actually. Yeah, I started New Year's because I had two starts, I think. I don't even remember. It hasn't even been that long. Anyways, here's Lord of the Rings by Glitch Stitch AU. I am stitching all of the black first because I like the way it's gonna look. Like, you can see it on Pattern Keeper. The charts work in Pattern Keeper. I will say, okay, someone messaged me on Instagram and apparently there's different versions of the chart. She sends you a black and white version, a color version, and then there's also a version where the chart's all on one page. For some reason, one of the ones that was put in, the black and white one, I think, it's missing one row on the left and one row off the top. So the stitch count was slightly off. But then if you put in the one where it's all one page, all the rows are there and it's all fine. But the one that I'm stitching on, it's missing the left row and the top row. And I don't think I am going to go back and do the one extra row. Like, it's fine, I'll be fine without the one row on the left. So mine is technically missing one row on the left. I'm going to live with it because I don't feel like going back and changing it. Anyways, so this is it. I'm stitching it on 22 count, 1/1 full cross. I don't love 22 count, but this was just a piece that I had laying around and I was just like, use what you have, and this chart is small so it's not going to be too terrible working on this fabric. Anyways, so there it is. I love it. The next chart that I will show is this one. So this is a chart, I was using it for the challenges. I'm using it for a monthly challenge, and so the monthly challenge is one where I think it's like we're reading The Hobbit this month, and I think it's like The Hobbit came out in 1937, I think. Don't. Anyways, and so the challenge is to do 1,937 stitches on a project, and I am using Persona 5, which is a chart that I found on Sprite Stitch for free. And this is the character Joker from the game Persona 5. It's a Japanese game, turn-based. I love it. And I also was really wanting to stitch on this chart because two of the older Persona games were just re-released for like Switch, Xbox, and PlayStation, so you can now play them again because they were only on like PS2 and like the Vita and the PSP, which are just systems that like nobody has those anymore. Okay, actually I do have a PS2 still, it's fine. Anyways, so I was stitching on this. This is stitched on 14 count plastic canvas, 2/1 full cross. I'm stitching all the black first, and I think that I should be able to finish all the black if I finish the monthly stitches for the challenge group. So that is going to be exciting when the black is finished and I can move on to the next color. So there was that. Where's the little bag for this? Put that away. The next one I will show is one that I worked on yesterday for a weekly challenge in the group, and it is Pokemon Switch from Glitch Stitch AU, and it's a chart that has the starters from the new Pokemon games, Scarlet and Violet, which I have been playing Scarlet. I'm finally going to get it finished this month. I am determined to beat it, so that was also a reason why my stitching has been a little bit slower this month, is because I was playing Pokemon. I have finished all the gyms. I finished the Team Star bases. I finished the Titans, and now I just have to do like the stuff after that. So I'm getting close. Here is what I did on Pokemon Switch though. I think the challenge was to do 200 stitches using green. So I did some grass here, and I am stitching this on 18 count, 2/1 full cross. And this has the starters from the game. So there is Sprigatito, Fuecoco, and Quaxley, the cute little duck. But I picked Sprigatito as my starter because he's so cute. So, oh, and then I think someone had asked in my last video about what team I'm on for the Lord of the Rings group, because they're also in the Lord of the Rings group, and I am an orc. I did not care which team I was on because it asks you when you're signing up. I mean, for one thing, you don't have to be on a team if you don't want to be on a team. But if you do, you can sign up, and then you could say if you had a preference, but I had no preference. I didn't care what team I was on. But yeah, I'm an orc, a little orc, big orc. The next chart I will show is Ink Circles, the Red Ship of Lesser Commitment. It is my first Ink Circles chart because I figured I need to stop doing just long dog samplers. If I'm going to do samplers, I should try some other ones, and so my first Ink Circles. I used this for a challenge in the group, and I think the challenge was 200 stitches using red floss or on red fabric. So I did 200 stitches using red. I am using, what colors are these? Classic Colorworks Ribbon Red and the colors Chili Pepper. So those are the two colors I'm using. And this is Deep Sea fabric from Crossed Wing Collection. I love the fabric from Crossed Wing Collection. I actually have a piece of fabric from them for Link, which is a chart from Pinky the Pink, and I'm really excited to be able to start that on the fabric that I picked because the fabric is gorgeous. Anyways, so there's that. And then I will show these. This is Stardew Valley Autumn from Glitch Stitch AU. I plan on stitching all of the seasons from Glitch Stitch AU that she has charted. She's charted all 4 seasons now. Before I only had 3, and she released another one, which I will show after I show my projects. Anyways, here is Autumn, which I reached 50%, which means I reached my mini goal on it for this season. I'm trying to stitch 25% on the chart every season. And so in spring, I'll bring it back out and then try and get it to 75%. This is being stitched on 28 count, 2/1 tent stitch, and I love it. It's just so pretty. And then this is another chart that I worked on for a challenge. I don't remember what the challenge was that I worked on this one for, but it was for a challenge in the Lord of the Rings group, and it is the Very Viking Stitch Along by Quaternion Creations. And here is what I got done. I think I did like 400 stitches, and that's what it looks like now. This is being stitched on 28 count Whispers Weigart 2/2 full cross using Anchor floss. I kind of wish that I had started this and done it 1/1 instead, because this is going to be huge. I mean, it's not going to be like huge, but it could have been so small and cute if I had done 1/1, but it's too late to change my mind now. I just need to remember that in the future, so. And then what is left? So that, I think I'm actually down to the last chart. No, I'm not. There's one that I'm missing. Where is it? We will pause for a second. I found it. Okay. I also worked 2 days on this chart because I have a goal for some charts where I just want to work on it 2 days per season, and I assigned a chart to each month. So for this month, I wanted to work on Snow Cherries by Maxine Gadd for at least 2 days, and I did that. And here is where it is right now. I am stitching this on, I think it's either 28 count or 27 count, 2/1 tent stitch, and I had started it in the middle and worked my way down, and I finished this little jewel here because I wanted to see how that would look, and it looks so pretty. I love it. And then I decided that I wanted to stitch over to the left hand corner, and that's what I'm doing now. I kind of think that I might want to try doing Royal Rose on this chart, but I would need to be able to get to the left side first, and then I would be able to go and start moving my way to the right. I can't really explain the Royal Rose method myself, but if you search on YouTube, there's videos where people are actually stitching, so you can actually watch them stitch doing the Royal Rose method. And the method just involves stitching like 22 blocks, so 20 rows at a time, going left to right, and then you're also parking as you go. So it looks like it could be an interesting way, and it would be nice for this chart because this chart has so many grays, and so I always kind of look at it like, what color do I actually want to stitch next? Whereas this would just be like, you're just stitching this color, you don't even need to think about it, just stitch that color that's next. So there was that. And now the last chart that I have to show is one that I'm still working on for a challenge, and it is Santa's on His Way, which is by Charting Creations. And what was the goal? Oh, yesterday I used it for a challenge, and it was stitch on a project that has a moon, and there's a moon in this chart. And because I'm doing this tent stitch, I had to do double the amount of stitches. So instead of 200 stitches, I had to do 400. So I did 400 yesterday, and then I will have to do another 400 today because I want to use it for another challenge. And the area I'm stitching in right now is like, I think it's trees, and then there's going to be a rooftop, I think here, maybe. I'll stitch down this way tonight so I can see what's down below. And my plan on this chart is that I would like to stitch down the side, get to the bottom corner, and then stitch along the bottom. And that way, when I want to work on it after that, I can kind of fill in wherever I want to work on, because there's lots of different areas on this chart. You know, you could be stitching like a village, you could be stitching the sky, there's like Santa and his sleigh and all that. So like, I want to be able to pick which area I stitch on as I go. So that was the last one. And now I will talk about purchases. I ended up buying, I think, 3 charts since the last time I've talked about haul. One of the charts I actually bought New Year's Eve, I think, and it was the 2023 mystery stitch along from the Cross Stitch Studio. I've really wanted to have a chart from Cross Stitch Studio for a while because I would like to have a chart from each of like the full coverage cross stitch designers, just so I can like try them all out, see how they are. And I saw the colors that are used for the mystery stitch along for this year, and it was like a ton of pinks and greens, and it just looked really pretty. And the theme for this year was in the garden, so I bought that. I have fabric, but I don't know if I want to start it yet. And so far they've released 2 pages, and I think every month they're releasing 2 pages. So I think there's going to be one on the 1st and one on the 15th. So I got that. And then I also bought the summer chart for Stardew Valley. Glitch Stitch AU just released the Stardew Valley summer, and it's like a beachy theme. I love it. I had to have it just so I have all the seasons, and then once they're finished I can like rotate the seasons out, and that will be really fun. And then the other chart that I bought was Disgaea, and it was a chart that I actually found when I made my last video, which was my whip parade. I was going through and I was finding the links for all my charts because I always put them into the description box. And I went to Stitchy Rin's shop and I saw this chart and I was like, I have to have it. And I love Disgaea, so I have a Disgaea case here because I will throw my favorite cases on the wall for some reason. So that's the case for Disgaea 5 on Switch. And I love the games. I started playing them like, I think it was like 10-ish years ago. There used to be a used game store right by where I live. And I went in there and they had Disgaea on the PS2. And I was like, ooh, that looks interesting. So I got it and I loved it. I got the games later on PSP, I think. And then they've released them since then on other systems. And I think the most recent game that came out was Disgaea 6. And they're not super popular games. And so I have looked before trying to find cross-stitch patterns for this game. I looked on Etsy, I have looked on Sprite Stitch, and I couldn't really find anything. So when I saw this chart on Stitchy Rin's shop, I was like, I need it. I love this game series so much, and it's not super popular, so I'll probably not see any other charts for this game because it's just not popular. It's not like Pokemon where like you're gonna see the charts everywhere. So I had to get it. So I got that, and I think that's all that I have for haul. I'm really trying not to buy too much stuff this year because I already have a lot. And I actually went through and I got pictures of all the charts that I've purchased because most of my charts are digital, so I can't just like physically look at them. And so I went and I got pictures of all my charts. I put them in a album on my phone, and it's called Charts Not Started. And so anytime that I'm like thinking about buying things, I go to that and I'm just like, look at all the things that you haven't started and that you want to start one day, and you will never be able to do it if you keep buying charts. So I've stopped doing that. And I've also been going through and kind of looking at what charts that I haven't started and seeing what fabric I already own that I could possibly stitch things on. And then throughout the year, I can like slowly maybe start actually starting some of the things that I've purchased because I have a lot. So anyways, the last things I have is someone left a comment about what was behind me, the charts. And so this one here is, I think it was called Game Boy Zelda, and it was on the Etsy shop, Needle Minder Lair. And the shop, she has a new shop now. I don't remember what it's called. I will link it down below though, so hopefully I don't find anything when I'm looking for these links. I need to not look when I get links. So I stitched this. It's on plastic canvas, 3/1 full cross. It was really thick doing 3 strands, which is why for Persona I'm only using 2. The coverage isn't as good on Persona, but I enjoy stitching more when it's not too thick. I hate it when it's so thick that your needle like doesn't want to go through. And then I just cut out the plastic canvas and I put the chart on a switch case. This is one of those like when you buy a used game at GameStop and they give you the GameStop case that everyone hates. Everyone gets so mad about the GameStop cases. I really don't care. But yeah, so just I put on a switch case, and then I used those sticky command things, the picture hooks. I just put one of those on the switch case, and then you can just stick it to the wall. And so yeah, that's what I did for that. And then I also have Link and Zelda, and I think this was from the Etsy shop, Unique Door Sign. I stitched this, when was this? A year or 2 ago? I don't remember. And this is on 40 count, 1/2. I hate 40 count. I don't really want to stitch on 40 count. I still have a little bit more of this fabric, and I'm just kind of like, what do I do with it? And the chart says it's dangerous to play alone, and it's from the Zelda games where the guy is giving you the sword and he says it's dangerous to go alone, take this, and it's just really cute. So there's that. And then for finishing this, I just put this on a canvas that you can get at like Michael's or whatever. I just stapled it to the back. I don't do anything fancy. And then command hooks because I rent, so no damaging walls, you know? Anyways, so that is what is behind me. Those will be going back up later. I think that's all that I have to show though, so I will be back hopefully in a week or 2 with another update video, and I hope everyone is doing well, and thank you for watching, liking, commenting, and subscribing. Bye!